Hello, hello, hello. This is
We have all
Umitencho.
come from the downtrodden and feel that we have been unheard. Some of us are sent to great power regardless.
You get on my nerves. Anyway, this is. I'm gonna hit the recommend and then go through it. No. That's fine. Anybody see it's fine. Let me get Goblin Town real quick. Goblin Town and Food Lady. Goblin Town. Where you at, mistress? Mistress of the fish. Or maybe friendly innkeeper. You know what? I'm gonna do helpful priest. And I'm gonna trust on the supply thing and equipment. I'll start. Back for another episode.
Travel with you are more
Every time I talk, you gotta talk.
story. They have their own goals and their own needs, yet their stories have ended, or they would be here by your side, would they not?
For someone whose mouth is covered, you got a motor mouth. Anyway, back for another episode, we are doing the double. Anyway, you arrive at a tavern one evening, anxious to settle beside a roaring fire with your companions. As you enter, however, you are surprised to find no familiar faces. After a meal and several hours of waiting alone, a priest rushes in. Your friend Eridane lies stricken at our temple. You arrive at the temple to find Eridane lying on a simple bed, attended to by a church official. He explains that she has been stricken with dark magic that is slowly draining her life. Somehow this malady resists our attempts at curing, the official says sadly. It is as if her very soul were poisoned. I'm sorry, her time is limited. The official leaves, shaking his head. It is not my place to say, the young clerk whispers, but perhaps there are other places you may seek help. In my work helping northern refugees, I have heard tales of their high priestess, a mystic of sorts who moves freely between the realm of men and the world beyond. If anyone could help your friend, it would be her. You know that the northerner priestess will not see you unless you possess enough blessings. But you have few options. With the young cleric's help, you ready Eridane for transport and leave the temple. So I gotta gather 4 blessings. How much do we have? 9. What do I have? A hammer. I got a good setup. I'm leaving. I don't want any of that right now. I'm good for now.
Given times are so dark, you are lucky to have allies willing to assist.
You're walking past a black plane-looking carriage when the door suddenly opens and a huge pair of hands lift you inside. The carriage leads forward as the doors shut and find yourself sprawled on the seat opposite a huge, powerfully built but unusually ugly man. Lord Apollyon requests your presence, the half-ogre declares. The creature is silent the rest of the journey until you arrive at an impressive manor house. You exit the carriage and are brought into a large hall for an audience with Lord Apollyon. Ah, the adventurer himself, Apollyon begins, smiling broadly and stepping forward to greet you. He bows slightly. I have heard of your exploits. I am too but a servant of the Empire and its people. I like to offer my services if you ever have need of them. I don't presume to wield a sword or dodge a claw troll as well as you, of course, but I do try to support good people with supplies and such, especially heroic figures such as yourself. Apollyon invites you to stay and entertain him with stories of your adventures so far. He seems captivated by every word, and several hours pass quickly. I should have brought Great Shrine. Anyway, you lead an incredible life. I hope you return again soon with more enchanting tales. Apollyon takes an item from many adorning the wall, saying, please accept this paltry gift. Perhaps it will rescue your friend. Is it oh, it's a weapon. Allow my coachman to take you back, and please come visit anytime. Interesting. Interesting. I'm gonna come back after I click this. and then let's leave. I know I can't do it twice.
You have to wonder why anyone would help you. At least my motives are clear.
Perhaps I could be of some assistance. I must confess I have a weakness for games of chance. Apollyon leads you to a table in another room. A set of cards is already set upon it. If you win it, I'll provide the blessings you require. Apollyon nods his ass. Yes, I have the means. You'll be surprised what magical trinkets end up in my possession as part of my work. If I win, then you must pose with me for the next portrait. It'll be titled Champions of the Empire. Perhaps I shall have a statue of us made as well. Okay. Well done. I think you played this game before. He gestures to a darkly robed man who you failed to notice standing in the shadowed corner. The man comes to stand before you, his deep voice slowly intoning words in a foreign tongue. My associate is a follower of an ancient religion that you may not be familiar with, but rest assured that his devotion is second to none. As you sit through the lengthy ritual, feel yourself drifting in and out of consciousness, whether from the drawn-in voice or the potent incense being burned, you cannot say. Okay. Reduce the speed of the wheel. Oh. You suddenly awake, Apollyon watching you with amusement from across the table. I expect you want to begin your journey to the High Priestess immediately. I sincerely hope your friend makes a full recovery.
Devils wait in the darkness, but which devil will you focus on?
As you pass near a darkened alleyway one evening, a blackened and misshapen hand grasps you, pulling you close to the darkness. You stand at the precipice of ruin. The Dark Lord has taken an interest in your destiny and even now is engineering your downfall. The hunched creature pulls you with surprising strength further into the shadows, but I can help. There is magic that can help beat him at his own game. We can craft it, you and I. Do it so may test your spirit, but that's better than eternal darkness, eh? Okay.
You must ponder the ties that begin to bind.
Already?
The trap is slowly laid for you.
Yeah, this is like weirdly convenient. You cross the northern border and prepare yourself for the journey up Mount Friendus. You're surprised, however, to find that a band of northern warriors waiting for you. The High Priestess is expecting you, the leader of the band declares. With their guidance and protection, you find yourself quickly once more in the ritual house of Asmarthea. I'm gonna call it as. Anyway, I know why you have come. The giantess begins moving to inspect Eridane. She quickly sneers, saying, "It's no wonder your holy people cannot heal her. This is no minor curse or spell from a magician. A beast of the underworld has tainted your friend's spirit, and without my help, she will die." As paused to consider you, her gaze boring into your soul. "I think your fate will be to be one day destroy the one who brings ruin to my people. Until then, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Yes." The Queen of Frost sends you to another room as she prepares a ritual. Many hours later, you are summoned again. You find the Queen standing over Eridane, who, apart from being famished, appears fully recovered. "Leave when you are ready," as Asma declares. Anyway, turning to leave. "But heed my warning, hero. A shadow hangs over your soul. Stray but a little and you will fail. To the ruin of us all." Metaclips told me he was going to the village of Rumstock to investigate a rumor of a magic artifact, Eridane explains as you leave the ritual house. "I was to meet him there some days ago." I need to advance this
I cannot
story.
understand how you come to be here now, given the challenges that have stood before you.
As you journey towards Rumstock, you're disquieted by an increasing number of rumors concerning the village. It seems that every traveler coming from that direction has heard of terrible ritualistic murders being performed in the woods nearby. The rumors also suggest the mage responsible has been captured. "Disguised himself as a bard," one fellow declares. "I saw him with my own eyes, and he has the look of a killer." "Don't worry," continues the man. "There'll be justice served for those poor souls when that necromancer burns at the stake." Interesting. take the huge success. He speaks in the language of the old religion for several minutes and then gently touches your forehead. Okay, so I'm just being showered with blessings. You are camped on the side of the road, moonless night, when a familiar pair of yellow eyes suddenly appear beyond the light of the campfire. You have glimpsed your doom, I take it. The curse is in the cards, you know. He glimpsed from the shadows to sit next to you, although somehow the fire fails to illuminate his form at all. The spell will be your salvation. There will be your salvation part. Several unique ingredients, the cloak figure explains. The first task will be to harvest the horn of a diabolic creature. I know one that will be easy to overcome, he says, producing a silver whistle from his cloak. Strike quickly, though, he sighs, or it may escape and you will spend countless lifetimes regretting it. The whistle releases a sharp note and a fiery portal appears between the two of you. A short horned creature steps out to board you again. Hey, Delaphilis, you called, the devil asked, looking up at him. Ah, what's that? You want my horn? The little devil exclaims, looking around. You brought me here to this mortal child to harvest my horn? I thought you were my friend. The little devil disappears in a puff of smoke and ash. Delaphilis shakes his head aside. You have cost me, mortal, but any punishment I will inflict will be nothing compared to fate now. Interesting.
I wonder how the Emperor feels about his precious wrath now, eh?
That'll be it for now on that, and then leave. You turn to a fine mansion of Lord Apollyon and are granted immediate audience. You say that another of your friends is in peril, Lord Apollyon remarks. How fascinating. You relate some detail as to Metaclip's situation. We live in dangerous times indeed, Apollyon says, shaking his head. Do you have a plan to save Metaclips? Lord Apollyon asked. You explained that you have not yet visited the village of Rumsalt to assess the situation. Alright. Lord Apollyon, the stables turn to the blah 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 face. I'm going immediately.
So the noose begins to tighten, and we question the very stakes.
A wooden stake with a brushwood piled around it stands in the village creature. A few peasants stand around talking eagerly about the impending doom of the so-called necromancer. You track down the mayor who, despite your pleas, refuses to consider sparing the mage's life. The creature is bound head to toe in the blessed iron, and he'll stay that way until burning under a full moon. Good, decent folk from this town have been murdered, and I will see to it that they receive justice. You plead Metaclip's innocence. Who are you that we should listen, the mayor exclaims. I would take more than a word of a nameless mercenary to free this creature of darkness. So I gotta go back to this fool. Those dreadful peasants in the provinces can be savage folk, Apollyon declares. But I have a solution, if you will but play the cards once more. If you win, I will use my considerable influence to spread the word of your great deeds to serve to the people. In service to the people. Bards will sing your praises across the empire. The rabble of nothing more than a hero, a real defender of the people. If it helps, I'll even have my personal hero accompany you. Your deeds are more particular in this case, so I must insist that you up your ante. If I win, you must stay and entertain my guests with the tales of your adventures. That's the spirit. No. Another one, Apollyon exclaims, you are adept at both combat and the finer arts. I should make plans with my associates tonight to support your cause. By the time you reach Rumstock, your name will be legend.
You have proven yourself worthy.
Okay. Interesting. The hero of the empire is in our village. You're here for the demon, of course. You must have heard that we captured ourselves. Don't worry, the mayor continues. We intend to burn it during the full moon. Yes, the mayor take you to an eclipse, who you find sitting in a small cell bound in silver chains, set with glowing rooms. With some effort, you manage to convince the mayor to release him into your custody for proper disposal. I'm sure you know best when it comes to creatures of the underworld, the mayor says, but we have the fire plan and everybody is coming. Perhaps you could stay just until full moon. At the edge of the village, the mayor reluctantly removes Metaclip's chains and stands well back as you leave. Thanks. Those country folk weren't kidding around. He goes on to relate how he was set upon as he heads to the village, being accused for some local murders involving magic. I'm sure they knew that I was coming. Where did they get those anti-magic chains from? You feel Metaclips and what happened to Eridane. What about Estrella and Colborne? He asks as you begin your journey back towards the capital. Yeah, this is like...
So many enemies await you, and so many would stop you moving forward.
I sense a plot. The next day, you stop the rest of this small inn. There are a few other patrons as you consume a sparse meal before returning to your room. Moments later, you hear a noise at the window suddenly opens, allowing a hooded stranger to step inside. Relax your sword arm, mercenaries, the woman exclaims, warding you away with an open hand. I seek only to deliver a message that your colleague Colborne has been captured by the guild. You see, she continues, leaning against the windowsill. With recent setbacks to our income potential, we had to expand our enterprise with kidnapping and so on. A rival tribe has an impressive bounty on your friend's head. It's all just business. For only 150 gold, you can buy your friend's life back. Bring the gold to the East Market Square and someone will contact you. Otherwise, well, I can't say how he'll be treated by those barbarians, the clothed woman says as she ducks back out of the window, vanishing into the darkness once more. I had no doubt that Apollyon is the devil.
A storm and troubles in the north, so it begins.
You enter a tavern as a storm lights up the night sky. The bar is packed with fellow travelers seeking respite from the weather. As you make yourself comfortable in a reliable, dry corner, a band of northern raiders kick in the doors. Prepare your souls for cleansing, godless heathen. Okay. I got the perfect person for dealing with them too. So it seems like if I fail, I could maybe potentially permanently lose a companion. Where's she at? Oh, there is a one-handed weapon. Okay, so I had the appropriate weapon for dealing with the Northerners. Well, there is the was that Cold Blade or something like that? Anyway, I need gold. The Northerns retreat into the storm. The innkeeper serves a round of drinks in your honor. Here, an old soldier left hit this with me before renouncing his adventuring for good. I want you to have it. Okay. Some food. The next step is normally as difficult as attaining a devil horn, but luck is with us again. The engine of your downfall has provided us with exactly what we need. He gestures, and your skin begins to glow. To possess so many blessings is rare for a mortal. I shall add that power to the mix. He opens a small vial, and with a sickening tug, he feels the sword and torn away. Oh, that's useful. I haven't had the wheel, but just in case. Oh, I gotta give it up. This would do nicely. Theopolis says with satisfaction as he steals the urn. Never lose hope, mortal. The Dark One may still lose his prize yet. Interesting. I need gold. Interesting. Alright, let's sell some equipment. Let's see what old dummy has for me. So let's leave for now. Just in case. You return to the fine mansion of Lord Apollyon and are granted an immediate audience. You say that another of your friends is in peril. Lord Apollyon remarks, how fascinating. You relate some details to Coldborn's situation. We live in dangerous times indeed, Apollyon says, shaking his head. I'd like to help if I may. Would you mind terrible? Yep. No. Yes, continue.
Your allies, of course, help in times of trouble, but when the tables are turned...
Ah. You enter into a wide courtyard filled with stalls and milling citizens. Within moments, you are roughly drawn into a shady corner, protected by prying eyes by a variety of hanging carpets. Hello again, the cloaked woman begins brightly, her two beefy companions silently taking position on either side of you. How did we go? Are we saving any lives today? You hand over a set of coins, which is promptly seized by one of the large men. Hope that it wasn't too much trouble to get your hands on, the woman comments as the coins are counted. Eventually the man nods to the woman and the two men leave, taking the gold. No hard feelings, eh? It's just business. The woman smiles, drawing up her cloak. Suddenly she dashes away, vanishing behind a pile of rolled up carpets. Afraid that you might have just been hoodwinked, you wander back through the crowd in time to see Coldboy being thrown from a moving wagon. You paid him, he says, and brushing himself off. I owe you my life. Coldborn relates his tale capture and confinement by the guild. Estrella wasn't with me when I was taken. I don't know what fate has befallen her.
One has to wonder why a sudden wave of carelessness has overtaken your allies.
You're right. A herald enters the marketplace and announces that Captain Estrella Fiore, traitor to the Empire, has been captured. She has been sentenced to death by the Emperor himself, the herald continues. Let her fate be an example to all who would consider defying his will. It it won't work, interrupts the commoner. The more execution he hands out, the more the free people will rebel. The Emperor is cracking down on the lawlessness running rampant in the city, the herald responds. And you sound like a rebel yourself. Discreet inquiries lead you to learn that Australia is being held in a remote empire stronghold, but nobody claims knowledge of where it is. It's over there. How will you rescue Australia if we cannot find her? Eridani asked in anguish. Apollyon. It always comes to him. Do I have the gold?
I do loathe fortune tellers, but there can be little question that she sees truth in you. These tokens represent the expansion of the game. More options, more cards, more opportunities.
Do I want the gold? I do. I wish I had the one where I could like move stuff to the left and right.
That should help.
Maybe I should have aimed for the helmet?
Everything is a wager, but our difference is that we understand the game must have rules and definitions if it is to bind.
You enter the tavern one evening, just as a gang of soldiers rise angrily from a table, leaving just a well-dressed civilian seated. You're a cheating son of a harpy, one of them yells. Gentlemen, please, I cannot help if Lady Luck has taken to me this fine evening. Nobody's that lucky, a soldier exclaims. Drawing his sword, the soldiers advance around the table. The unarmed man suddenly leaps from his chair and ducks behind you, saying, "Mercenary, I implore you, I am a humble and honest merchant in need of aid." I'll defend. I got no problem defending you. Bam. Need some food. Having dealt with the threat of the vengeful soldiers, you turn to find Lucky Hansel lying behind the bench, a northerner warrior crouched over him. A man who cheats has no honor, the northerner says, matter-of-factly, sheathing his knife and hefting the merchant's money bags. He will not cheat me again. Oh boy.
The pendulum is ever changing, and the challenges it presents change too.
With the northerner weighed down with gold, you manage to drag him to the ground. An Empire captain arrives with a dozen men and separates you both, as well as taking a bag of gold. Looks like Hansel's swindling days are over, but at least you caught his two accomplices fighting over the spoils. One of the soldiers interrupts the captain, saying, "Wait, don't you know who this is?" He tells some of your adventures. "My apologies," the captain smiles. "I didn't realize you were traveling in these parts. Good work on capturing the northerner. Too bad we didn't get Hansel alive." So next time, search Hansel. Gotcha.
Next time, bring more food.
One day you come across a man wrapped in blah blah blah. I know. Let's see what I gotta do. The next element, your magical salvation is approaching. He begins without bothering to stand. You will meet a traveler on the outskirts of the forest. Trade with him to attain the feathers of an angel. I'm continuing. You managed to convince the dwarf that the feather is probably a fake, worth little more than a few beads and torn half of a map you find in your pack. The dwarf is barely out of sight when Theopolis is suddenly beside you, saying the dwarf has never such a valuable prize in possession, perhaps never will again. But now it's time for the spell to be completed. Theophilus takes the feather and adds it to the spell concoction. The vial hears a silent, bright flash, then returns to normal. At last, Theophilus cries in excitement. After all these years, I will be free. Okay.
That will set you in good stead from here.
I'll give it the vial. You give it to me willingly. I do not know your every deed and exploit hero, but I do know that this is the greatest mercy you will ever perform. Theophilus drinks the contents of the vial. I now have one last game to play, that I will win my freedom, he says. He fades away. Interesting. You return to the fine mansion of Lord Apollyon and are granted an immediate audience. You say that none of your friends is in peril, Lord Apollyon? Remarks how fascinating. You relate some details as to illustrate the situation. We live in dangerous times indeed, blah, blah, blah. Oh, Lord. Oh. Interesting. So the trap is sprung. Continue. Interesting.
The impossible seems out of your grasp, at least for now.
Interesting. Well, that happened. I think I know what I gotta do next time. I gotta complete that shadowy guy's thing. So I gotta get him free, and then maybe he'll interfere. I don't know. Yeah. So when I return, we will hopefully finish the devil. I should complete it this time. So see you all later.